Good morning to all. Welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss water turbines, which is from fluid mechanics and hydraulic machinery. Myself, Murali D, contract lecturer in mechanical engineering from JMR Polytechnic, Utnur. This video is very useful for diploma second year 4th semester students of Telangana state. Okay, in previous class we solved some problems on Kaplan turbine. Now today we are going to discuss the difference between impulse turbine and reaction turbine, and the difference between inward flow reaction and outward reaction turbine, the difference between Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine, and understand the governing of turbines, know the definition of degree of reaction, solve some problems on specific speed. So these are the difference between impulse and reaction turbine. The first point, in impulse turbine, the available energy is only kinetic energy. In impulse turbine, in reaction turbine, the kinetic energy as well as pressure energy is available. For second one, the pressure in the turbine is constant and is equal to atmosphere. In reaction turbine, pressure in turbine varies continuously, maximum at inlet and minimum at outlet. And third point, in impulse turbine, runner revolves in open air. Third point, in reaction turbine, runner is encased in a airtight casing. Fourth point, in impulse turbine, casing has no hydraulic function. In reaction turbine, casing is essential as the pressure change takes place in the runner. Fifth point, in impulse turbine, the kinetic energy at the outlet of turbine cannot be received. In reaction turbine, kinetic energy at the outlet of turbine can be recovered by providing a draft tube. Sixth point, in impulse turbine, water is admitted over the part of circumference. In reaction turbine, a runner is completely immersed in the water. Seventh point, in impulse turbine, flow regulation is possible without loss. In reaction turbine, flow regulation is always accompanied by loss. Eighth point, in impulse turbine, it is suitable for high heads and less discharge. In reaction turbine, it is suitable for low heads and high discharge. Ninth point, in impulse turbine, the specific speed is less. For reaction turbine, the specific speed is more. These are the difference between impulse turbine and reaction turbine. Once again, I am repeating this. In impulse turbine, only kinetic energy is available. In reaction turbine, kinetic energy as well as pressure energy is available. In impulse turbine, tangential direction flow. In reaction turbine, radial flow or mixed flow. In impulse turbine, pressure is atmospheric. In reaction turbine, pressure is not atmospheric. In impulse turbine, runner is not running with full of water. In reaction turbine, runner is running with full of water. In impulse turbine, regulation of flow is easy. In reaction turbine, regulation of flow is difficult. In impulse turbine, it is suitable for high heads. For reaction turbine, medium heads or low heads. In impulse turbine, for same operating heads, turbine size is large. In reaction turbine, it is small. For impulse turbine, repairs are easy. In reaction turbine, the repairs are difficult. In impulse turbine, airtight casing is not essential. In reaction turbine, airtight casing is essential. In impulse turbine, it does not require draft tube. In reaction turbine, it requires draft tube. In impulse turbine, efficiency is less. In reaction turbine, efficiency is high. In impulse turbine, the governing is easy. In reaction turbine, the governing is difficult. So these are the differences between impulse turbine and reaction turbine. Now we will discuss the difference between inward flow reaction turbine and outward flow reaction turbines. Inward flow reaction turbine, the flow is inward flow periphery to the center. For outward flow reaction turbine, the flow is outward from the center to periphery. For inward flow reaction turbine, negative centrifugal head is created. For outward flow reaction turbine, positive centrifugal head is created. For inward flow reaction turbine, suitable for medium head and high heads. For outward flow reaction turbine, it is suitable for low and medium heads. For inward flow reaction turbine, turbine adjusts the speed by itself. For outward flow reaction turbine, it cannot adjust the speed. For inward flow reaction turbine, discharge does not increase. For outward flow reaction turbine, the discharge increases. These are the differences between inward flow reaction turbine and outward flow reaction turbine. I am simply reading all the important points in inward flow reaction turbine. The flow is inward from periphery to the center. Negative centrifugal head is created, suitable for medium heads and high heads. And turbine adjusts the speed by itself. Discharge does not increase. For outward flow reaction turbine, the flow is outward from center to periphery. Positive centrifugal head is created, suitable for low and medium heads. Cannot adjust the speed by itself. The discharge is increases. So now these are the differences between inward flow reaction turbine and outward flow reaction turbine. Governing of water turbines. What is the governing? Governing is the process of maintaining the speed of turbine constant irrespective of load fluctuations. This is done by regulating the input water supply. So the governing is the process of maintaining the speed of turbine constant irrespective of load fluctuations. So to maintain constant speed of turbine or regulation speed of the turbine, load and speed are inversely proportional. Frequency and voltage of generators depend on the speed of rotation. Governing is a mechanical device to maintain constant speed of the turbine. What are the functions of a governor? The functions of governor: to respond quickly, to maintain rated speed of a turbine, to regulate water quantity, so these are the main functions of a governor: to respond quickly, to maintain rated speed of turbine, to regulate water quantity. What is the need for governing? Need for governing is to generate electric power. The turbine is coupled to an electrical generator or alternator. The primary requirement during the power generation is speed of turbine should be constant. The speed of turbine should be equal to synchronous speed of generator. Otherwise, the frequency of electrical output will be changed. The load on the turbine changes whenever the electrical demand varies. When the load increases, the speed of turbine decreases and vice versa. Hence, by adjusting the rate of fluid flow at inlet, the speed should be kept constant. This adjustment of fluid flow with the load is called governing. This is the need for governing. When the demand is high, the turbine speed will reduces. When the demand is low, the turbine speed is increases. But when the demand varies, the speed of the turbine is to maintain it constant. Okay, they observe this figure, the governing of Fulton wheel. In Fulton wheel, governing the nozzle opening, and hence the fluid flow is controlled by the movement of sphere rod. So the main parts of centrifugal governor for Fulton wheel. Here it is the oil sump. It acts as a oil reservoir. Gear pump. It increases pressure of oil and then supply. Servo motor. The relay cylinder consists of a piston. The piston operated by oil coming from the control valve. Piston rod end is connected to the sphere. Here it is the gear pump. It is driven by the turbine shaft and it pumps oil to the control valve. And next, relay valve or control valve. It changes the direction of fluid that enters into the servo motor. This valve is actuated by the sleeve of a governor through a lever. It supplies oil to the servo motor as per the requirement. CF governor, centrifugal governor. It is driven from the main shaft of the turbine. When the speed of the turbine varies, the centrifugal force on the balls of the governor changes. Due to this, position of both will change, resulting in upward or downward movement of these. It responds quickly by means of fly balls. And next one is the spear valve. Regulate the flow of water. Spear valve will regulate the flow of water onto the turbine. Working. When load decreases on the turbine runs with faster speed, responses quickly by governor. Fly balls move away from the governor and rotates. On other side, fulcrum force piston rod moving downward. The working of when the load on the generator increases, the speed of the turbine decreases. As a result, the governor balls move inward, causing the sleeve to move downward. The downward movement of sleeve causes the lever on the right hand side of the fulcrum to move upwards. Therefore, the spool in the relay valve is moved upward, closing the lower valve and opening the upper valve. The oil enters the rod end side of the servo motor. As a result, the piston and hence the spear moves backward. Due to increased opening of nozzle, more quantity of water enters into the turbine. The speed of the turbine increases and comes to its rated speed. During the backward movement of piston, the oil from servo motor flushes back to the sump through the lower valve. Similarly, when the load decreases, the turbine speed increases. Resulting action of governor causes the spear to move forward. Due to the reduced fluid flow, the speed of turbine decreases and comes to normal. Observe this diagram. This is the main parts of governor: oil sump, gear pump, servo motor, relay valve, CF governor, guide vane mechanism. Already we discussed all these. First you have to watch the video of the governing of water turbines. I will show you a video. This is very useful and which is helpful, the animation. Watch this video.
We are going to see governing of Pelton turbine. Now let's understand what is meant by governing of Pelton turbine. It is required that the Pelton turbine speed is to be a constant because a Pelton turbine is connected to the electric generator. The output shaft of Pelton turbine is connected to the electric generator. The electric generator takes mechanical energy from a turbine and convert into the electrical energy. So whatever generator is there, that required a constant speed of the shaft, because if the speed of shaft goes on changing, the electricity power which is generated, which may not be constant. So it's a requirement of system that the speed of the turbine has to remain constant, and maintaining this speed at constant, maintaining this speed of the turbine at constant is done by the governor. So there are various types of governor you might be knowing from knowledge of theory of machine, but here we are going to see a ball type of governor which will maintain a constant speed of the impulse turbine at the outlet. So let us see the construction of this particular turbine. Here we are observing a many part. Let's consider the parts of governor. First part is oil sump. So here we are using an oil sump where the oil will be get stored and this oil can be pumped into the system. Next part is gear pump. This particular oil pump is nothing but a gear pump. The name is given gear pump because we are going to use gears into that. That's why it is called a gear pump. The function of gear pump is suck oil from oil sump and provide to the further system. Next, servo motor or a relay cylinder. The servo motor or a relay cylinder is nothing but this total cylinder piston arrangement. In the cylinder piston arrangement, you will see that there is a piston and the piston rod which is called as piston rod of relay cylinder. This piston rod is connected to spear, and this spear is inserted into the nozzle. From nozzle, the water is going to the turbine. Basically, controlling speed of Pelton turbine means controlling the amount of water going to the turbine. If you reduce amount of water going to the turbine, then the rotation of turbine will go on reducing. If we increase amount of water going to the turbine rotation will also goes on increasing. So if you control by anyhow the water going to the turbine, we can control the speed of the turbine. So here we are having a piston, the piston rod, and the spear is there. This spear can move forward and backward along with this particular piston and piston rod. Next is a control valve. This total assembly is called as a control valve or relay. Here what we are having, there are number of ports present on a control valve. So this is port number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In all total 5 ports are available, and in that we are having a 2 piston which is connected to rod. Here the 3 port, this left side 3 port is connected to pipeline, and that pipeline is going to the oil sump, whereas the right side 2 ports, they are going for this particular servo motor or relay cylinder. One pipeline or one valve V2 is going to the left side, that is called as A, whereas another pipeline is going to the right side, that is what called as B. So A and B, there are 2 parts. Left side part of the piston is called as A, whereas the right side part is called as B. So in all total 5 ports are there, and these 5 ports are going connected to pipeline and various components. Here these 2 pistons connected to one common shaft, and that common shaft is going to the lever. This is what a lever. This lever is supported by fulcrum. So here we are having a fulcrum point. Here we are having a fulcrum point, like a pivot point. And pivot point left side is the governor. On the right side we are having the piston and cylinder arrangement. Next is centrifugal governor. This is a centrifugal governor. You may have seen in the theory of machine, in which we are having the fly ball. You are knowing the working of this. When we increase the rotation of this particular governor, the fly ball will move up, and as the fly ball will move up, it will take sleeve along with that. So sleeve will also move on upward side direction. Now this sleeve is connected to lever. So when the sleeve moves upward side direction, this lever will also move on upward side direction. This centrifugal governor is connected to a turbine by using the shaft. So if turbine rotation goes on increases, then centrifugal governor rotation also will go on increases. If turbine rotation goes on decreases, the centrifugal governor also goes on decreases. So this particular centrifugal governor is directly connected to a turbine, and turbine rotation will be given to the governor. Next, the spear rod. The spear rod is present over here. This is called a spear rod or a spear. We have already discussed this one. And the pipeline. So various pipelines are also there. So these are a major component of the governor of Pelton. First is a oil sump. So this is a oil sump we have seen. Next is a gear pump. This is a gear pump we have seen next part. Then servo motor or a relay cylinder. This is servo motor or relay cylinder, third part. Next is a control valve. This is a control valve which controls the rotation of this particular turbine. Next is centrifugal governor. This is the centrifugal governor which is connected to turbine. Then spear rod or spear. This is spear rod or spear, and the pipeline, various pipeline you can see. So likewise many components are present over here, and the aim of this total component is to maintain the speed of the turbine to be constant. Here we have to understood in detail how this particular control valve is connected to governor. The control valve is connected to governor by using this lever, and lever is supported by the fulcrum, as I told you. Now when this lever moves on upward side direction, this side of the lever will move down. So when it moves up like this, this will be moving on downside direction, or vice versa. When this moves on downside direction, this will be moving on upward side direction. This can be achieved by using the fulcrum. So fulcrum will be helpful for movement of this particular valves. Now if this valve position get changed, the speed of this particular water or the amount of water which is going out of this will also get change and the speed will also goes on changing. Now let's discuss the two condition, high speed condition and low speed condition. When load on the turbine goes on reduces, the speed of turbine goes on increases. Okay, so we are knowing load and speed are inversely proportional to each other. When load decreases, speed of the turbine goes on increases, and the increased speed of turbine is given to the centrifugal governor. Now as a centrifugal governor speed goes on increases, this fly ball will also move on upward side direction. When a fly ball moves on upward side direction, the sleeve will also move up, and as the sleeve moves up, so this side part the lever will move up, and as lever will move up, this side part of the lever will move down. So here is a fulcrum. Because of fulcrum, when this part moves up, this part goes down. When this part goes down, the what happens is these two piston also moves on a downside direction. So as these two piston moves down, what happen is the flow of oil which is coming from this in current position, the both valve V1 V2 is closed. When this will move down, because of moving lever up, the oil which is present here, now let's consider this has moved down, this has moved down. Now the oil which is coming, it will go to the V2. Why? Because this has moved down. As it goes to V2 and it will enter into this particular portion. When the oil is coming and it goes into this one and it enters into this particular portion, the force on the piston goes on increases, and as the force on the piston goes on increases, spear will be inserted into the nozzle. Now when spear is inserted into the nozzle, the area available for the flow of water will be less, and less amount of water will be going to the turbine. If less amount of water is going to the turbine, means the speed of turbine will go on reduces, and we can achieve the required function. Because here what has happened, because speed increases, this lever has moved up and this will move down, and as it moved down, we have seen that the spear is inserted in the system, and hence water amount reduces and the speed of this particular turbine also goes on reduces. Now consider opposite condition. What is opposite condition? In the opposite condition, the load on the turbine is reduces. If load on the turbine reduces, speed increases, and if load on the turbine goes on increases, the speed of the turbine will go on reduces. Now let's discuss this condition. When load increases, speed decreases. When load increases and speed decreases, this fly ball will move inside and the sleeve will move down. So we are knowing that when the fly ball speed increases, it will move up. When fly ball speed decreases, it will be moving down. When the sleeve is moving down, the lever also moves down. As the lever moves down, this part of lever will move up. When this part of lever moves up, what happens is this two piston also moves up, and now the oil which is coming, now it's connected to V1 rather than V2. Previously it was connected to V2, and now the oil which is coming, that goes to the V1. From V1 the oil is entering into this particular part, rod side part of the piston or zone B. When this particular oil comes here, it increases force over the piston. As force over the piston goes on increases, the piston will move towards left, and as the piston moves towards left, the spear also moves towards left, coming out from a nozzle. And if spear comes back, the more area is available for the flow of the water. If more area is available for the flow of the water, more amount of water will be coming up out from nozzle, and that will give impact over the turbine, and turbine speed will go on increases. So see what has happened. As the speed reduces, this has moved up from V1, it has came here, spear come back, and amount of water increases. As amount of water increases, the turbine speed also increases, and we can maintain the constant speed of the turbine. So here this will work when speed reduces and when speed increases. This valve will get adjust with each other, and after adjusting, we can maintain the constant speed of the turbine, which is the requirement of a generator which is connected to the turbine.